Look at all the batteries.
Yeah, I know, I saw.
I got enough for last a long time because I figured the corona would continue. What is this picture? He's gonna put this on his website. Say,
he's gonna start selling batteries.
JS Private Tech stocks all batteries.
No, I like the fact that I have so many batteries.
I figured that
those as well. Look at that.
I was assuming that shipping is going to be really slow for the next few months, and I also thought the virus would get way worse than it did, so I want to stock up a lot on everything. About 8,000 or 9,000 bucks. I know. Thank God for credit. But for all the stuff that we're getting, I'm thinking for the next month or two, with how slow everything is, we should buy a little more rather than a little less. And up the minimum. Anything that we run out of, just up the minimum, or up the quantity at which we reorder it.
I've been trying to get as much from not from China as possible.
Yeah, that too.
But not get ripped off with the price too.
It's hard. Did any of Wong's stuff ship yet?
No.
Yeah, it's been almost.
Some of them are, I don't know, DHL didn't even update.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he actually shipped it. One of them did this every day on hold, on hold, on hold.
We probably should call them and figure out why.
I'll do 10 pull-ups per
Give them a call for the one that's on hold, because I think it may be because. Hey everybody, how's it going? I decided I'd dress up for today's stream, you know. Kind of try to up the ante here, be a little bit more professional. See? My unironed shirt? Beautiful. All right. So today, we're going to get started fixing a MacBook. And the first thing we're going to do, before we get started on this MacBook, is we're going to remove the coronavirus from it. Die, coronavirus. Die. Yes. Burn. Someone asked me, why do you keep saying coronavirus? Every other YouTuber says I can't say that, or I get demonetized. Well, I have to choose. Do I want to make $15 to $20 for this video? Or do I want to have the fun of saying coronavirus? And the satisfaction of saying that we're killing the coronavirus? The latter is the obvious of the two. It's much more fun. Because like when you say coronavirus, it's boring. But when you say coronavirus, yeah, I'm going to kill that virus. Die, virus. Die. Burn. Do you have a court case to go to? Well, actually, funny you mention that. Funny you mention that. Ah. Exactly like this. Yeah. So. All right. Here's what it is. All right, so I don't have the paper in front of me to show you, unfortunately. But that architectural firm that I was talking about, Park Bench Architects, and remember that video I did where I was showing the difference between the good architect and the bad architect? The bad architect was Park Bench Architects, and I sued them. But the suit was delayed because of coronavirus. I was supposed to have my day in court, I believe April 6th or April 7th, but I got a letter in the mail the other day saying it's not canceled, it's just postponed, so there is the chance of getting my money back. At this company, someone named Winter, I believe Winter D'Angelo, actually said, okay, fine, you know, it is what it is, we'll refund you. And then they agreed to a partial refund of $2,000 out of the $3,100, and they never refunded me. And they ghosted me for months. So I did actually file in commercial claims court to sue them, and I plan to show up. I just dropped a magnet. But yeah, I plan to show up the moment that Corona is over and defeated. But yeah, we don't forget. So let's go from there. Yeah, so the name of the company was Park Bench Architects. I believe run by Russell Goss and Winter D'Angelo. Sorry, I gave you guys 5 months to make good on this, and you didn't, so I don't really care if your reputation goes downhill as a result of people seeing the work that you did. Anyway. Yeah, I with any luck, I can get my $3,000 back when it's done. Mike is having a stroke. Eugene is yeah. Eugene, I'm not getting anything. I can't look at your site right now, James, because everybody's telling me that my microphone's not working. Actually, my mic battery is full. This is full. I guess I got to do a frequency scan again. So, give me a moment. I'm just going to do a frequency scan, and I'll be right back. Okay. Easy setup. Scan new list. A reset list. Alright, scan new list of frequencies, and I'll be back with a stream. Hello. Okay. I have to find a frequency that's not fucked up.
Yeah, okay.
No, all my frequencies are kind of fucked up. Okay, bang. Here. All right. See,
And there we go.
we have a new frequency.
Doesn't look great.
Doesn't look right?
Oh. Maybe it's just a map.
All right. So that is a new frequency. So I did it. I had it scan a new frequency.
Find something more clear.
So Paul actually just plugged my bike light into the microscope camera. I mean, not into the fiber optic thingy. I want to see if how capable this thing is. So let's just. Let's compare it to this thing now. Okay, so this is LED. This is my bike light going into the fiber optic ring. That's the halogen. Someone says my mic is buzzing. But I can't hear my own stream unless I put my headphones on with my phone. Where's my phone? Oh, my phone's in my pocket. Headphones here. All right, so one sec. I'm going to listen to my own stream because I can't tell what you guys mean. I also don't know if I'm being trolled by my audience because sometimes I'm just getting trolled by people.
Also remember that that bicycle light is a, what, $12 bicycle light?
Yeah.
That's a $300 microscope light?
It's very similar. That's the sad thing. Now, one sec. I'm going to listen to my stream and see if I can figure it out.
4, 3, 2,
They said that the stream is making funny noises. I can't troubleshoot unless I'm listening to it. Okay. Kopaz is not coming. There is no Kopaz. Kopaz does not exist. Okay. I don't hear anything.
There's a lot of noise down there.
Oh, that's after I have the compressor on and everything.
Oh, so the
That's just the compressor for stream. So that if I yell, it doesn't go too loud. Okay, so when it's sitting down, it happens. Is it the plug? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Those plugs go bad all the time.
Is this touching the mask? Wait, I can't see because I don't have a monitor behind me. Damn it. Yeah, I'll use my phone as a mirror. Okay, I haven't heard a single click in the last 5 minutes. I mean, in the last 20 seconds. So, yeah, you guys are just fucking with me to fuck with me. All right. So, here's what it is. It's the internet. Okay, so we're going to restart this from scratch. Okay. Now.
Can you? Oh, never mind.
What?
No, never mind.
What's up?
Don't worry, I'll tell you later.
Are you replying to the cunt? Okay. Okay, so there's clearly no noise. I'm listening to my own stream now.
I can use you actually. So, can you show
The coronavirus. He said phone being close to the mic. Let's see. Phone. I'm rubbing my phone on there. I'm loading stuff on the internet. Turning on Bluetooth on the phone. Turning it off. No, you guys are just fucking with me. Okay, so it's alright. You got me. You got me. April Fools to me. So the first thing we're going to do on this MacBook here is unplug the battery. Because we need to have the battery unplugged in order to have an idea of what is going on with the board itself. Remember, I'm not interested in what's going on with the battery. I'm interested in what's going on the board. I want to be able to get a clear idea of how much power the board itself is taking. If you want to take someone's temperature, you're not going to want to take their temperature while they're in a sauna because you're not going to get a proper reading. So that's the whole point here of me. And this is the whole point of me unplugging the battery. I want to get rid of external variables and just tell what the board is doing. John Cuomo's in on it. But Friends Radio is also in on it. 5G causes COVID! They're all in on it. Okay. So as you can see, we have a light on the charger, but it's taking 23 milliamps, which is typically a missing PM Sleep S4L, which is no fun. So let's get the board out of the case and go from there. I heard it on the internet. I heard it on the internet. Yeah, that battery seems like it's starting to get a bit on the puffy side. But this is an older machine, so that's to be expected. They do often puff up before they die, Sarah Marie. Sometimes they get coronavirus. If the battery gets coronavirus and dies from liquid damage, it would still be counted as a COVID death. Eli the computer guy is awesome. Email him soon. Email him? I don't understand. I'm confused. What am I? If someone cattle prods on my chest and I die of heart attack, Lewis didn't kill me, the electrons did. Stop donating, Kopez. No more money. Coronavirus. 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 "5G allows people to spread misinforming memes on the internet quickly, which increases the spread of the coronavirus." Coronavirus. Coronavirus. All right. Thoughts on Governor Murphy and keeping New Jersey closed? I have not been following much of what's been going on in New Jersey. So here's my thoughts, and I'm going to get called ignorant and evil and blah, blah, blah for it, but I've started to learn to stop caring about this as much over the years. Let me just bring up something regarding what's been going on in New York. So the whole concept is that this was like, this virus was, you know, the mortality rate was going to be ridiculously high. We're talking about millions and millions of people killed in a short period of time. And so let's just go over the results, not from a conspiracy theory website, not from some sort of, like InfoWars site or something. Like, here's from nyc.gov, right? So if you take a look over here, you'll see that we have 15,233 deaths in the state. Now, if we do a little bit of math, I mean in the city, not in the state. So now let's just look up New York City population. So New York City's population is 8.399 million. 8399000. And so far, 15. So of the, and these are COVID deaths. So far, coronavirus has killed 0.18% of the overall population of New York City. 0.18% this year. All right? So now let's just continue digging into the stats. Now, if we continue digging into the stats, what you're going to see here is that if you look at, let's say, the group of individuals that would make up the store that here, because I believe our youngest employee is 19 and our oldest employee is 40, you'll see that that fits this age range. Now, no one here has an underlying condition, so that's 17 COVID deaths. So, of the deaths that have occurred for people in my age group, my age area, that is 17 people. Now, if you take a look at the population of New York City, that's just one thing. So, 0.18% of New York City's population has died from COVID. Now, of those COVID deaths, 17 people fit this age group. So let's just do some basic math here. 17. That's 0.1% of the COVID deaths fit me.
Have a good night.
See you later, Paul. Thanks for everything. Or people in my age group. So what I think is, if you are worried about getting the virus, if you're scared about getting the virus, if you are in any way concerned with infecting other people or anything like that, or you're afraid about getting infected, what I think that you should do is stay home. Stay home. However, if you happen to be a person that, let's say, has who makes up 0.1% of all COVID deaths, like, what do you want from me? I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be for shutting down the entire economy and everything. It's because of a very high spread rate, which could bring the healthcare system crashing down. Whereas, again, if you're in that group of people that are very likely to die, I think that the thing to do, stay home. Like, I'm not asking these people to go outside, right? I'm not asking you to go outside. I'm not asking you to return to work. I'm not even asking you to return to work. But if these people want to, like, you know, go back to making a living and not being poor and continuing their life while wearing a mask, while killing the coronavirus, again, die corona, die. Yeah, I'm for it. And the thing is that you notice is that the hospitals, like, there was this idea that the hospitals are going to be overrun, and it was looking like that. But they didn't get overrun. Like, I can't talk for New Jersey because I don't live in Jersey. So for me to talk about Jersey when I don't live in Jersey would make me a douchebag, because I would be speaking about that which I don't know. I don't live there. But I do live in New York City. We were afraid about hospitals being overrun here, so we set up hospitals in the Javits Center. And then we didn't use them, and then we stopped because they were not needed. So we are past the point where we have to worry about medical capacity, because, you know, we have that. We are past the point of flattening the curve, because we've done that. So now I believe continuing to stay locked down is a result of political pressure. And I don't think it's any of that, like, let's destroy the economy for Trump and blah, 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 and all that conspiracy shit. I think it's a much more simple thing of nobody wants to be the one that's responsible. Nobody wants to be the one that the media and everybody's going to point at and go, oh my God, you don't care if people die. Like, no one wants that on them. But the reality is that, again, when you just look at these numbers here, like, we do this every day. Like, every day we do this. Every single fucking day. We make... Lewis doesn't understand the science and math. You don't understand grammar, because if you did, Lewis doesn't understated the science and math. Holy fuck, you can't even talk and you're insulting me. Get the fuck out of my chat. Come back when you learn kindergarten grammar. But anyway, the thing is, we make these kinds of decisions constantly. Like, for instance, there are all different types of things that we allow that may cause deaths, but that also bring convenience to society. I mean, you can go back to a horse and buggy, and more people would probably be alive, less people would die. I'm sure if there were less oil spills or less oil rig fires or stuff like that, you'd probably have less deaths as well. It really has to be based on data. And I don't mind shit being based on data. I really don't. I don't mind. I don't mind saying, okay, well, if the rate is continuing to go up, then maybe people should stay at home for this reason. But what pisses me off a lot is when politicians say every single life matters. If we even save one life, then it was worth everything. The reason that pisses me off is because we don't treat anything else like that. We don't treat anything else in our society like that. There's no other area where we apply that same standard. We don't apply that to cars. We don't apply that to energy production. We don't apply that to buildings. We don't apply that to... how many people simply die because they were working on a high-rise and they fell off of some shit? Like, we don't not make buildings that are higher than 2 floors because we don't apply that to anything. Now, I think that we should use data. If cleaning shit will stop the spread, great. If wearing a mask will stop the spread, great. My comment section is filled with cunts that will say, you're an idiot for wearing a mask, you're a dumbass. And I will post a scientific paper that shows that wearing a mask decreases the spread by quite a bit. Even if I make a mistake and touch the mask or I do this, I'm still less likely if I sneeze or cough to spread the virus to someone in front of me by wearing it. And they will still say you're an idiot and just ignore the scientific paper. I read data. I'm more than happy to take actions to decrease the spread, and I'm more than happy to change the way I do business. Where I protest and where I say enough is when people say, the world economy needs to die, should die, if we can save even one life. That's where I say fuck you. And the reason I say fuck you there is because we don't act like that in any other area. Nothing. We don't act like... That's just not the way we make calculations for anything in America, or most of the developed world. So pretending that that's how the standard we're going to use right now, so that you seem like a more caring person, that pisses me off to no end. And the thing that really bothers me here is that there really seems to be no middle ground. You have the people that say, you're an idiot and you don't understand data, like that dumbass in my comments that's illiterate, and then because you believe that the economy matters. And then you have people on the other side that are so fucking stupid, they're not willing to spend 60 cents on something like this per day for their staff members to try and prevent the spread of the virus because, well, my freedom. And what really aggravates me is that there's just no middle ground. There's no middle ground at all. And that's something that maybe there is, and I'm just not seeing it because I'm spending time on the internet. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe there actually is a middle ground, but because I read comments in this cancerous little YouTube chat window, I get this incorrect idea that this is the world. And I think this is what happens with Eli the computer guy when I listen to his videos and I see his rants. I think what happens with Eli is because he does YouTube for a living, because that's his profession, that he spends time in this, and then he starts to think that this is the fucking world when it's not. Like, for instance, Sweden didn't shut down. I think they have 30 deaths per 100,000. We have 24. We destroyed our economy. We drove a truck through our economy. We send 52 volts to the 1.7 volt data line of our economy. And we only have 6 deaths less per 100,000 than Sweden. That kept virtually everything open. Looking back, I think Sweden probably did the right thing. Do they have more deaths now? Yes. And when people say that Sweden did the wrong thing because they have more deaths now, you can't make that calculation until lockdown is over. Like a year from now, you can figure out who did the right thing, right? Because this is how it works. So let's say corona deaths are going up, and then you have a lockdown, then they go down. But that going down drastically now is at the cost of them going up again later as soon as everybody goes outside again. Whereas Sweden, even if they're still going up, they're going up, but it's a manageable curve. It's not this. It's like because they're Sweden, with this, Sweden doesn't have this counterculturist shit that they have to worry about like in the U.S. where like the government told me to do that, so I'm going to do the opposite. And they also don't have the baggage of the government constantly fucking lying to them the same way that we do, which is, you know, I can't blame the people that think the government are lying to them. Yeah, there's some truth to that. So in Sweden, you can just say, listen, you know, we're not going to mandate it. We're not going to require it. Could you guys just kind of wear masks and not cough on old people? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll wear masks and not cough on old people. Yeah, cool. And their country seems fine. Now, let's say we go out of lockdown and then it goes back up. But Sweden, I think, is probably in the long term, like a year from now, 2 years from now, you're going to see Sweden's curve is probably going to do this, where our curve did this, and then did this. But Sweden's economy, that's going to be something. And I think that a lot of people that make fun of places like Sweden for high taxes or regulation or all that other crap, I think that conservatives are going to find a newfound respect for places like Sweden, regardless of high taxes and all that, because they will have lived through a time period where their small government told them, you're not physically allowed to go to work and put food on the table, whereas Sweden didn't do that. Sweden, I can't believe I'm saying this in my lifetime, Sweden is a more free country than the United States. Let's see what I got here. The other part of lockdowns is that if you give people rules that are impossible to follow, they're not going to follow anything. Whereas if you give people rules that are reasonable, you get a chance of following them. So again, with the mask thing. If you told everybody, listen, you got to wear a mask, I think they'd wear a mask. If you told everybody, listen, you still got to pay rent. You still got to pay rent, even if the place that you're paying $12,000 a month in rent on is virtually useless. You still got to pay rent. You still got to pay property taxes. You still got to pay every single fucking bill in your life. But fuck you, you can't make money for the next 3 months. Or at least until we tell you can make money. Oh, by the way, you got to wear a mask. Then they're going to say fuck you to everything. And that's a big part of the problem. Is that the people that are saying fuck you to the mask, they're not really saying fuck you to the mask. They're saying fuck you to the mask because the mask represents bending the knee to a government that says, you are my bitch. So if you present people with rules that are reasonable, you have a chance of actual compliance. Whereas in the United States, if you have people saying you're 5 feet apart, not 6 feet apart, we're calling the police on you and we're going to open up a de Blasio tattle snitch line and blah, 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 then you have what's happening here, which is the ultra hyper partisanship of the issue. Me personally, I never close my business. It says technical support for online services. It's really vague whether or not that applies to me or not. But you know what? I'd rather ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. No, I'm not going to ruin what I worked on for the past 13 fucking years because 17 people in the entire city that fit the profile of employee that works at my store died from this virus. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving up 13 years of what I worked to build for something that by nyc.gov killed 17 people that fit the profile of an employee of this store. I'll clean. I'll forego any sort of retail in the front. I'll have 7 feet between the table and the door, another 7 feet between that other table and Kevin's desk. I'll tell every employee here, you don't have to come to work. I'm just saying, if you're nervous, if you're worried about getting the virus, you can stay home, and I'll pay you to stay home. Before the CARES Act came out, before the PPP program came out, I told everybody, you can stay at home and I'll pay you for it. I'll do that. But the idea that I'm going to give up every single fucking thing that I like, no, I'm not. No, that's not the way this is going to work. Because, and the thing is, it worked out the exact way that I thought. The exact way that I thought. They never said when this is going to end. They never gave us any idea of a date as to when lockdown was going to end. The CARES Act was a total clusterfuck. I mean, yeah, I wound up getting something out of it, but at several weeks into it, and I was and nobody else that I know got anything. The only reason I think I got anything is because I sent some very, very threatening text to my banker, and yeah, I forget what I even left off on this. I forget where I left off. I forget what point I was trying to make, honestly. You know what was interesting to me is there was this one woman that showed up who had to be at least like 75 or 80 years old, and she had the N95 mask and the face covering and all this shit. And she worked at JP Morgan, and she was writing a book, and she said she had worked there for about 50 years or so. And I was just like kind of curious. Like I had one of those moments where I just didn't care if I got a 1-star or a customer said, "How fucking dare you?" Or just one of those sheer moments of human curiosity. And she's having an issue with this machine, and I just said, just like out of curiosity, because this is a cheap piece of shit. This is like the lowest end PC that money could buy. I'm like, what the fuck are you heading out in this for? And she said, oh yeah, I know I'm in one of the risk categories, but I've been doing a job that I don't really like for 50 years, and I just started working on this book about 4 or 5 months ago, and I always had a dream of being an author, and I didn't back up my data, and I know I'm stupid for doing it, and my kids told me that I should do it, and blah, 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 and I didn't. And I wanted to publish this book before I die, and I had only one copy of it on here, and I don't really care if I risk something because I wanted to get back my data, and everybody else said that they couldn't get my data. And I'm just thinking about that. When people say what is or what isn't essential. Because to me, this whole concept of essential business is fucking retarded. I am a ThinkPad user, and I back up my data. The place next door that sells socks, wholesale, socks and underwear, they're more essential to me than I am. I back up my data. I don't need someone to recover my fucking clicking hard drive because I have a NAS, and I have a cloud backup, and I have another backup that sits in a drawer that's not plugged into anything. I have my data in different locations in different places, and I don't use a fucking Mac. I don't need to worry about liquid damage. I poured a gallon of water, or maybe like 2 quarts of water or so, into my ThinkPad, and it still worked afterwards. I don't need a fucking liquid damage repair center. This place is as useless as tits on a bill to an individual like me. The underwear store, that I need. What if I shit myself? What if I forget the advice in my Staples Tech Drive video, and I wipe my ass wrong, and I skid everything while I'm at work, and I don't want to go all the way back home? I want to be able to buy some underwear, but I can't, because they're not essential. But I'm essential? To other people, they got lots of underwear. They don't give a fuck about the underwear store. They're not going to buy that cheap-ass wholesale underwear shit. But you know what they want? It's an old lady that literally doesn't care if she risks dying from coronavirus, because being able to complete her book and have something to say that she did with her life other than be some sort of fucking secretary at JP Morgan where they're probably finding new ways to rob honest, hardworking people blind was something that mattered to her more than the risk of dying, even though she's clearly in one of the highest risk groups. And it just kind of made me happy that I made the decision that I did. It's like, who the fuck is King Cuomo to say who is and is not essential? Because I'm thinking about this. Like, you read all this stuff and it kind of sounds like you are the asshole if you choose to do business. But in order for that to occur, these individuals need to be willing to leave their house and show up. Anyway, I'm going to read the comments, which I probably shouldn't be doing. I have a board to fix. And we'll go on from there. Wearing a mask is a small and easy thing to do if it helps prevent the spread. I'm all for everyone wearing a mask. Me too. I wouldn't want the government to mandate wearing a mask, but I just wish that as a society we could just not be cunts and all make the personal choice to wear the mask. Because again, without a government mandate to wear this, I would just look at the science, I would look at the data, and I would say, $6 to $8 a day for all the employees. Yeah, why not wear a mask? It doesn't seem there's middle ground. Yeah, there's never a middle ground anymore. Have you been to Sweden that did shut down just voluntarily? fuck you back. That is not the issue at all. Of course the economy matters. There's tons of middle ground. Crying the economy is going to collapse. I don't know. I say fuck you back for not understanding what I said, I suppose. It's not about crying the economy is going to collapse. It's about suggesting reality. If you're going to say Sweden has high taxes, you should have done the math on it too. You don't have to do much math on a percentage. I'm flying a plane, says Rockford Media. Remember Trump didn't lock you down, your governor locked you down. I don't remember Trump for locking us down. I remember the governor for locking us down, and I remember Trump for being at the head of an administration dismantled the very organization whose job it was to do work like this that cost about 16 to 20 cents per year of taxpayer dollars, called USAID Predict, who I'm fairly certain at this point in time every single person in America would be willing to part with 16 cents to see what it would have been like had they not been disbanded. I'm not partisan. I hate my governor and I hate my president. See? No partisanship there. I think they're both a pile of cunts. Cuomo's governor because his dad is governor. Trump is rich because his dad is rich. Trump is a snowflake that gets angry when people criticize him. My governor vetoed a bill that had a vote of 137 to 4, because one of the assembly people had criticized him, who was a co-sponsor of it. I can't tell them apart, to be honest with you. Okay. Sonia, I don't think that's possible at the moment, to refrain from political comments since I'm discussing this. Since I went into this as a discussion. $60 a square foot for social distancing. That's some expensive social distancing. Fixed board, I can't. I started discussing something. What can you say about Trump's response with COVID-19? Is it satisfactory? I think that's the wrong question. I'm not interested in your response. I'm interested in your lack of prevention. And the thing is, you had a fucking organization that was designed to do just this. If you look at the labs they had set up at USAID Predict, if you look at the work that they did, it was amazing fucking work. That's coming from a libertarian. Coming from a libertarian who is, anarcho-curious. I'd have spent 16 cents a year for Predict. People not wearing masks and how they wanted to rebel and not wear masks since they hate the policy. That's a problem. When are you going to ditch the mask? I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying the fact that it triggers the YouTube commenters. I may keep wearing this thing, literally just for stream at some point. I'm just going to have this thing on for streaming and then take it off later. What education does one need to have a job like yours? I don't know. I barely passed high school. You are precious. Have a burrito from all of us, says Ultra Noob. I'm not precious. I'm just a ranting asshole. I would agree, but I've been banned. I'm curious what you mean by that. I'm reading your comment. I'm not sure how you've been banned. Lock up the nursing homes where over 50% of the deaths occur and let everyone out with social distancing. Boom. We definitely mishandled nursing homes here in New York City. I think that since we did set up all that stuff in the Javits Center, it would have been really nice if we actually had a section of the Javits Center that was set aside for elderly patients with coronavirus to keep them from going back to nursing homes. I could get it. You need the hospital beds to be clear. But at the same time, the kind of people who are in nursing homes, a lot of them are fucked to begin with. Like, take my grandma, for instance. You know, before she went to a nursing home, she had like a live-in aide. And she was kind of like having issues with certain things. And then she slipped. She was like on the second to last stair, not even like on the top of it. And she slipped. She fell. Her back destroyed. She goes in for a very minor procedure, basic minor procedure. She gets the anesthetic. She comes out of the anesthetic. She doesn't know who I am. She can't recognize my mom. She can't recognize my uncle. She can't recognize me. She has no idea who any of us are. And I've read all this crap that says like anesthetic doesn't cause Alzheimer's. Yeah, it probably doesn't. But if you have dementia, I'm pretty sure that like the step between dementia and Alzheimer's is kind of like a ramp. But if you get a surgery, there's a good chance of it becoming a step down a cliff. Like, they're already fucked. They're the most vulnerable. So you really want to take the sick people during a time like this and leave them, and having the sick people be like 20 fucking miles away from all those Emmons Avenue nursing homes. That's a good thing. And we really kind of screwed the pooch in not doing that. So we fucked up there. Fix something. I can't. I have chat to read. Miles said he's firing anyone who disagrees or threatens him. Who's he? Since I read the chat a few minutes after I say something, if you don't use pronouns, it would be helpful, because I don't know who you're referring to there. Wally White's girlfriend is Myron. No fix, I'm off. Oh, you're one of those people that announces when you leave a stream rather than hit X. That's sad. The chat does not appear to be productive at this point in time. So, since the part of the chat for this discussion has kind of gone away, I'm going to fix the board now, unless something genuinely interesting comes back up on this topic. Microprobes, we were supposed to have it. I ordered those again in the middle or end of April. And a lot of that stuff hasn't come in because China's shipping and all that has been kind of fucked up by beer virus. Yes, Alex, it's a live stream. This is called, like, you know, interacting with chat. Yes, I'm fully aware of the title of my fucking stream. Okay, so what we're going to do is see if anything obvious comes up on this board. Now, first thing we look at is the corner. Any corrosion on all these probe points under the SSD. And there's nothing. You can also see there's a mark on one of my lenses there, and I thought I cleaned all of them with UVEX, but there's still a mark there. It's driving me nuts. You can see it in the bottom right corner. So weird, I've always wanted to ask you a ton of questions, and now that I can, my mind is blank. Can't be blanker than mine. So I'm just looking around this thing to see if there's anything obvious, and I can't find anything that's obvious. Which means I may actually have to use my damn brain. Everybody is always here for the rant, Alex. Look at my main channel. Okay, like, I do a rant, 300,000 views. I do a cat video, 80,000 views. I do a board repair, 9,000 views. I do a rant, 80,000 views. I do a board repair, 6,000 views. I take a video of my cat, 60,000 views. I do a video of cockroaches. Cockroaches. And the cockroaches will get 100,000 views. I think people just hate my soldering. This is really triggering me. That little water spot in there is driving me fucking crazy. Will there become a day where the services you provide no longer become invaluable? I really thought that would have passed like 5 or 7 years ago. One of the reasons that I decided to not like continue investing in the business or move is because I really thought that what I do would be gone by now. Okay, so there's nothing on this board that looks even remotely damaged. That sucks. So that means that we're going to have to actually use our brain. And using the brain really is a pain. What? It fucking works. I fixed it. Well, there you go. All of you motherfuckers over there that said that Lewis wasn't fixing the fucking board. Yes, I was. The board wanted to know my opinion on coronavirus. And after I spit some straight up truth, now it's taking 500 milliamps. I fixed it. No, really, that thing was taking 25 milliamps earlier. You saw it. You all saw it. This piece of shit. I have it on camera. On stream. 24 to 25 milliamps. I ranted this board back to life. 425 plus tax, baby. Yo, I'm done. I'm done. My board was on the desk taking 26 milliamps, no corrosion whatsoever. Miserable missing PM sleep S4L. Someone asked me a corona question and it started a 15-minute aggravated discussion, and at the end of it my fan was spinning and the board is working. And it's taking 500 milliamps.
What board?
4924. It fixed itself.
You sure you had it plugged in correctly?
100%.
Okay.
I yelled at it.
I yelled
at it.
I yelled it into life.
Oh, I said, fuck you, Trump, fuck you, Cuomo, and the board just started again. I'm going to start that more often.
Dr. Frankenstein it back to life.
I want an apology from every single one of you. Every last one of you that said, I'm leaving because I don't see a fix. Antonio, I expect you to come back and apologize, you fuck. Who is that guy? Scroll up right here. I'm not going to let you forget this one. The board agrees with me politically. Who's that guy who's like, I'm announcing that I'm leaving because I'm such a self-important cunt. I need to let people know when I leave the chat. Where are you, Antonio? Yeah, you fuck. I fixed the board. Gargle my balls. I fixed the board. I feel bad for Sonia as a moderator. She keeps telling people, please be respectful, please be respectful, please be respectful. In the stream she's moderating, I'm saying, like I always say, set an example by doing what you want your staff to do. I want my staff to wear a mask and clean. I wear a mask and clean. She says everybody be respectful, and the dumbass that she's hosting tells the viewers to gargle their balls. I don't envy Sonia. She's got a hard job. Man, this is fun. Okay. Tony. Yeah, that was Camilo said he's sure you had it plugged in right. He knows me well. Okay. It abruptly powered down, just quit working. Noises and smells. Board was missing. PM sleep S4L. I yelled at it sternly for 20 minutes, and now it works again. Smiley face. Let's see if it's one of the components that's plugged in. The trackpad does not look corroded at all. Take a look at the rest of the machine. This is about to be the most I've ever billed for a rant before. I'm on my way to being a Clinton Foundation. I'm gonna get that $500,000 a speech, but it starts in a journey. $500,000 a speech starts in a journey of 425. Let's see. Nah, we can't do that. That would be kind of mean. All right, so let's see. There's a couple of things here that can actually stop it from turning on. The I/O board could be shorting PP5 ESO, I believe, to ground, or PP5 ES4, I forget. Let's see. No, it's not the battery, because remember, I unplugged the battery when I made my first measurement. So the battery was unplugged for that. You have to remember that. That's why, remember in all my streams where I said the first thing I do before making an amperage reading is unplug the battery, right? Don't forget that now. Yeah, I fucking yelled at the board and made it work again. Start giving those speeches and making that money. Start giving those speeches and making that money. With the government's track record, do you believe that they could have utilized the prediction organization effectively even if it was not dismantled? Yes, because other government agencies said politely, I forget if it was the LA Times or someone else, but they mentioned that they were able to get things done that others were not able to get done because they typically cut through bureaucracy. So they were kind of like, how do I put this? It's like dealing with a tutor versus the principal. The principal's sole job is to discipline you, whereas the tutor's sole job is to get you to pass the test. So they dealt with other governments, but from we're trying to help you without asking for shit in return. Whereas normal foreign policy is, we are only giving you this because we want that in return. If we don't get it, we're going to bomb you, kind of shit. So they had an ability to reach out to people and get a level of honesty out of them that other departments often were not able to get out of them. It's like the difference between dealing with the bean counter or the engineer, that kind of thing. You know, they had a different level of respect. So China, I'm guessing, there we go. See that spike to 72 milliamps and back down? 72, 22, 72, 22. So China, likely, it would have been harder for them to lie and keep this shit under wraps if we had people in their, in Wuhan there for that department that were asking all the hard, difficult questions in the beginning. And again, even if it wasn't, for me, it would have been worth 16 cents a year as a taxpayer to find out. All right, so it was the I/O board all along. I didn't fix it by yelling at it. Fine. I apologize, Antonio, for calling you a fuck. You fuckface. But, yeah. Okay, it needs an I/O board. Right I/O board. Yeah. Huh. I guess How would the right I/O board have just randomly died like that, though? Thomas, man, you got to start from scratch. That's the problem. Because all that you have all that knowledge built up in another country on how to do all the basic day-to-day stuff, and man. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna start working on tomorrow, working towards that van to make a moving business of it. Who's Shun Rajay Matoy? Well, I hope it works well. Right. Waiting on customer. Put this in slot H22 and move on. Oh, I gotta read this. This is gonna make me happy. You took pictures too.
Yeah. Typing into while I'm eating too. What was I talking about? Fuck. Lost my train of thought.
Sorry. I yelled at this motherboard and I thought I fixed it, but it was just the right I/O board. Paul Dimming. Did you see Paul Dimming Solutions? Shuna's fine. I'm watching your stuff and hanging out on Discord for a while. I just stay quiet most of the time. Thank you. Oh. That was a useless video. You can see an ant on my table. What are you doing looking at my table? You want to see something? I'll show you something. They're a mess, Greg. Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to get started on an A1706 that's liquid damage and not turning on. Let's get started, see if we can fix this thing and make it work again. The first thing we're going to do here is the same thing we do with every MacBook that comes into the store. We're going to remove the coronavirus from it. Die Corona. Die coronavirus. You shit-eating virus. Burn! Burn! Thank you, Gregaloose. Die virus. Die. How'd you start off in your line of work? It's a very, very long story. I actually did a 1-hour video on it called How Did I Start? The answer to everything. Steve! On the latest video, someone commented and said, I've done lab recovery on thousands of drives. It's wrong for you to assume that the last place that touched it caused that damage to the platters and all that. What if it just came that way? You have to be getting fucked with.
Who did? I am getting fucked with. Who did it?
The drive did it to itself.
Client didn't do it. They took it somewhere else. This person was actually very nice, and he said,
They're trolling the shit out of you.
listen, he was like, I promise I didn't open it, I didn't do any of that. And he only took it to one other place. So what am I to assume? I didn't name that place, but... like,
Yeah.
the drive opened itself up and you know, ran into someone and said, that's
Oh. Oh, crap. Did I just cough? Fuck. Shit. D-Corona! Die Corona! UVing my face is a bit more than I'm willing to go to kill the coronavirus. Okay. So as can be seen on this machine over here, the right side has a liquid damage sticker but no corrosion. This area by this MOSFET has minor corrosion. The backlight caps are corroded. The left CD3215 has corroded caps by it that look badly corroded. So this is kind of a corrosion fest all around. The first thing that I'm going to want to do with this machine, now that I've murdered its coronavirus, I've broken its coronavirus's back, fucked its coronavirus's ass, and made its coronavirus humble old country way, is unplug the battery so that I can see how much power the board is taking by itself. Remember, the board is plugged into the battery. The board charges the battery. Now, what I like to do with these machines is plug the charger into a USB-C amp meter in order to tell how much power the board is taking. Just like measuring someone's temperature if they're ill, I don't want to measure your temperature while you're in a sauna. I want to measure your temperature while you're in a normal room. So it looks like our problem here is not one of a CD3215 not working, because we are taking 19 volt, or taking 16 milliamps at 19 volts. So 19.9 volts. So the CD3215 is actually working. Something else on the board is causing it to be stuck at 19 milliamps. Usually a PM Sleep S5L, which is probably going to make me wish that I went home early instead of staying to stream a video. But let's see if that's the case. The coronavirus. I was planning on getting a proper soldering station from you eventually. I like the review you did on the Quick and the other heat station that I forget. I think you mean the Atom. Why, thank you. If you don't want to wait, I think you can buy the Quick cheaper than I used to sell it for. It's more expensive than the Atom, but still cheap enough. In Twitch chat, you both essentially... The problem here is that you're both correct at the same time. Now, the free market is not just winner take all, and free market is not only if I satisfy customers, I am 100% ahead. Because the thing is, if you satisfy customers so well that you're in the lead for long enough, then you get big enough that you have the resources, the pull, and the power to be able to then start killing your would-be competitors in the womb before they have a chance to become your competitor. At this, we started more new small businesses in the late 1970s than we do right now. That's what kind of drives me nuts when people say that we live in this era of unbridled innovation. No, we don't. Technology's better now than it was 40 or 50 or 60 years ago, but if you adjust for how many technological advances we've made because of the amount of time that we've had since then, if you adjust for like how advanced our technology is now versus then, you'll see that the level of new companies, new startups, new innovation is actually pretty low in contrast to the past. There are people that make money by making their customers happy. In a capitalist system, if I make more customers happy, I make more money. And I get bigger. It's not just like I stole something. But there are people in the capitalist system that just kind of, try to take as much as they can and fuck over as much as they can and toe the line and without stepping right over it. That don't really add value to the system very much, but they make money as a result of it. Which way you see it to be really depends on what it is you choose to focus on. And I think the true red pill, and the real red pill is that both sides are actually correct. It really just is when has that weighed too much to one side versus the other one. I see corrosion by CPU MOSFETs. Standard Oil was responsible for a lot of really good stuff. And a lot of those companies that people call robber barons were also responsible for the fact that a lot of people are reading indoors nowadays. And if you think about it, finding cheaper ways to get oil to those lamps so that people could read in their homes, like after it was dark out, likely increased literacy and led to a lot more innovation. A lot of good things happened as a result of that. Then there was also like a lot of the garbage that happened behind closed doors. And it's been about 10 years since I read this book, so I'm probably going to be talking out my asshole entirely. But there were a lot of anti-competitive tactics that they engaged in, like, trying to keep I think it was like trying to keep oil from being stored in certain ports or something from competitors, or like buying up certain supply lines so other people couldn't deliver. I forget what it was, and I'm just going to make an ass of myself if I even try to remember what I read 10 years ago. But they both wind up being true. Does your microscope not work? The microscope works fine. Why would I use a microscope to remove screws from the board? I'll take a look into it, thanks. Also, when you build your new 19.99999 bike, check for a CVT transmission on them. I thought they were super cool and less chain loop. I will check it out. I still got to choose the bike. I honestly haven't chosen the bike yet, but maybe I'll go over that with you later. Oh, fuck, I'm getting spammed. Help! Sonia, I actually watched that movie The Current Wars a few days ago, and it was pretty interesting. I didn't look up to see how much of it was actually true, but it was engaging. Yeah, I hear you, Tactical Cadaver. Okay, so there's a couple of things that make me sad about this board. The first is extensive corrosion by the CPU MOSFETs. Meaning most likely dead CPU. So this corrosion by the CD3215 is actually not my problem at all. I can ignore it because I'm getting 20 volts. Corrosion by the backlight, I can ignore that. I don't care about it because I am... You know, I don't have a backlight. The fucking thing's dead. What do I care? Give a shit about a backlight for it. This is for PP3V3_G3 hot, which I'm getting because I'm getting 20 volts, right? So I don't care about that. This is minor corrosion. This, now if these transistors died, that could be a very bad thing. If this transistor died, which I'm guessing it did, that would also be a very awful, awful thing right there. So let's see what this is responsible for here. Oh, I don't know what RAID means. I assume that RAID is either a system of combining multiple hard drives or when everybody in Game of Thrones comes in and kills everybody in a town. So I figured that was the Twitch version of that. Is a RAID a good thing on Twitch? I'm not as familiar with the culture as I should be. Like, should I be happy if I get raided, or should I like run away and try to kill everybody? I've been watching too much Game of Thrones. I probably watched too much Game of Thrones. Raid is a good thing. Oh. Who the fuck is responsible for branding at Twitch? That's an awful name for something that's good. Raid sounds terrible. Reminds me of Drobos. Okay, so we're going to go over to the schematic in the board view. Try and figure out what the hell this thing is. So this is U7600. U7600 is going to be responsible for the buck converter that creates PP5VS4 out of PP-G3 hot. And I would guess, something tells me that there's a short circuit on that line. What do you think, folks? You think I'm right? You think I'm right? Because I think I'm probably right. Oh, fuck me. Let's see. Something tells me that transistor is dead and it sent 12 volts to everything on that line. Well, what do you know? Paul Daniels' software's not showing. Oh, I didn't hit the button on the meter. Well, what do you know? Eight ohms! It's almost like it's straight shorted to ground. Alright, let's remove this transistor. Transistor. Resistor. Transistor. 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 Say transistor 6 times really fast without saying transistor. It's actually hard. Transistor, 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 transistor. Fuck. Can't do it. You guys know what I mean when I say buck converter, right? The whole concept with the buck converter is we need 5 volts out, but we only have 12 volts in. So what we do here is this transistor is going to turn on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off. And this chip over here, U7650, is going to control this transistor and tell it to do that. It's programmed to do that and shit. So then this transistor is going to turn on, off, on, off, on, off, on. You get some 12, a lot of zeros, some 12, a lot of 0. It goes through the magic coil. The caps are going to store it and smooth it out. And then you get a nice smooth 5. But if this is stuck, because let's say it got hit with a bomb of corrosion, then the transistor is going to contract the coronavirus and short the voltage to ground. So let's replace this transistor with a transistor that doesn't have the coronavirus. By the way, for those of you who've been asking, Lewis, why do you keep saying the word coronavirus? Everybody I watch on YouTube says they're getting demonetized for saying that. Why would you say that word? If I have to choose between the $20 from this video or the sheer joy that I get from saying the word coronavirus and that we're going to kill the coronavirus, I'll choose the joy 7 days of the week. Easy breezy. Oh, but shit, I forgot. There's the underfilled Wi-Fi chip right under this that I don't think I can replace because it's paired to the board. So I'm going to take something and put it over that as a heatsink. So let's see what I have here. What do I have that I can put over that? Cover that so I don't mess it up. I usually have a box cutter sitting on the desk, but since I clean my office, I can't find it. Man, this is why you should never clean your office, because shit just disappears when you do that. Aha, here we go. So that Wi-Fi chip underneath, we're just going to cover that. Transistor. Fuck. That is still shorted. Is PP3V3S5 shorted? That's the other rail that this power supply is going to make. Nope. Okay, what else is going to be blown? Could it be this capap over here? That capacitor is on the line. So you can see that capacitor is on PP5ES4 and it's corroded. Or it could be something on the other side of the board. We haven't even looked at the other side of the board yet. Is it the chip itself? Nope, not the buck converter itself. Is it any one of the caps up here? Nope, those caps look just fine. Aha! Oh, ouchie, ouch. Okay, what are you? I'm going to guess that that thing got 12 volts to the face. U8209. Okay, what is U8209 for? U8209. Oh, ouch. Okay, so this is what takes PP5ES4 and turns it into PP5ESO and sends the power from PP5ESO to from PP5ES4 to PP5ESO. So think of this as the thingy that sits between, let's say, your electricity from outside your house and your electrical outlet. It's like a breaker. You know, when you flip the breaker, it turns it on. You can turn on power to that room. So that's what you have going on here. It takes all these rails and sends it to other stuff. like PP3V3S5 is going to become PP1V8SO, PP3V3S5 becomes PP1V8S3, blah, blah, blah. That's what this page is doing. So here, this chip is responsible for that, and oh my. So that clearly got 12 volts and handled it way worse than that FET. Because that FET was corroded a little bit, but not too bad. Whereas this thing just got, damn, you can see the inside of it and everything. So by the way, guys, when you see those chips that look like glass, like this, see this? And they're really easy to break. You may notice that they're easy to break. This is pretty much the exact same thing, except it's covered in this other material. And then under it, you got the glassy part. But here, it just all kind of exploded. I don't think the stuff around it is actually bad because it wasn't liquid that damaged this. The liquid happened on the other side of the board. This is simply the collateral damage. Oh, fuck. Yeah, the board. Oh, man. Oh, that's deep. That short is in the board, deeper than Ray J is into a Kardashian. Oh, man. Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Is that substrate under there? Damn! This board got fucked up. Oh my god. What is this? Oh, jeez. And this board has coronavirus. I just knocked the cap off, but no biggie. That's the least of the fucking issue here, my friends. Okay, so I'm gonna guess that where the hole is where PP5ES4 comes in as input. Or is it? Actually, no, it's not. That's PP5ES4 ramp. Oh, man. So a cap is supposed to go to ground from there. So this pin over here is going to be what enables it to turn on. That's ground. That's PP5ES4 input. That's PP5ESO. Well, let's see if we removed our short circuit at least. Can we do that? Can we see if we remove the short? So PP5ES4 is going to be over here. And we're at 11 ohms. Oh shit. I shorted some caps in the corner. Is it time to dig a hole and somehow bring it back to life? Yeah, perhaps. These two caps are actually supposed to be on both ends. It doesn't matter if they look shorted, because it's the PP5ES4 is on both of those ends of those caps. So I'm just being pedantic here, and I'm going to stop being pedantic because it reminds me of a YouTube viewer. So this cap over here is also corroded. I mean, there's no need to keep stuff that's corroded on the rail if you're looking for a short. Although that's probably not the cause of it. Yeah, we've gone up 3 ohms. Big freaking deal. That's a PP bus cap. PP bus is not shorted, so I shouldn't probably worry about that. Actually, I never checked to see if PP bus was shorted. Wow, PP bus is shorted too. Every rail is shorted on this. So this is PP bus G3 hot short, and a PP5ES4 short, and a hole in the board, and MOSFETs corroded by the CPU. At this point, I would deem this board not worth my time. I'd like to go home and play with my kitty. The chance of, even if I do solve the PP5ES4 short, I have a PP bus short that is most likely going to be through the CPU. I have multiple shorts on this and a bunch of corrosion by the CPU MOSFETs. Everything on the 5-volt rail got 12 volts, and I'm pretty sure the CPU got 12 volts too. So it's time for this to be gone. Thought? This board played with too many high voltage power rails, partied it up, and now he's dead. So I'm going to get ready to get out of here. It was fun streaming with you all tonight. Sorry we didn't have as much fun as usual, but Paul will be seeing this board tomorrow, and I will be seeing you all later. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I hope you learned something. It was lovely sharing this time with you all.